Hey all, welcome. Today I have some breaking news that I want to share with you and talk about these amazing light switches. US scientists have just announced for the very first time they've been able to create a nuclear fusion reaction where they invested and used less energy to create more energy. So what does this have to do with these light switches, you might ask? Well, while the prospect of nuclear fusion one day powering our homes might offer infinite clean energy, we're not quite there yet. And so these Lutron switches from Maestro have saved me a ton of time, energy, and money over the past several years.
Today we're going to be installing the light switch in the downstairs powder room. My daughter always struggles with this particular bathroom at night. She's afraid of the dark, and so she doesn't want to turn on the light without having someone there for her to turn it on. So this is a perfect candidate for that light switch. Now, keep in mind that I am not a certified electrician, nor did I receive a degree in electrical engineering. And so this is for informational purposes only. This is just from my own experience. And if you feel uncomfortable with taking these steps, please be sure to contact a certified electrician to help you. Now, the first step that I take is to turn off the electricity from the electrical box. You want to make sure that you are turning off the right circuit breaker and that there's no electricity going through to that particular light switch that you're going to be working on. I should also mention before taking this step, it's a good idea to make sure that you have the right switch that you're working on. In most bathrooms, there is one for the fan and also one for the light. After turning off the electricity, you'll want to remove the faceplate. I use a non-contact voltage tester just to ensure that there is in fact no electricity coming through the light switch. From here, I remove the screws of the switch that I wish to install, pull the receptacle all the way out just to see what type of wires that we're working with. In most modern homes, you'll see two black wires coming out of the light switch along with the ground bare copper wire. The white wire is usually tucked into the background, into the box, and we'll be talking about this here shortly. Now, if you see a red wire, that is a traveler wire to another light source. Typically, this means that you'll have two light switches controlling the same light, and these particular light switches do not work well in a three-way switch. It is more so designed for a single pole light switch.
If you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you'll be notified for my next video.
Now you'll notice that there are two black wires coming out of the Lutron light switch and a green wire along with a silver bare ground wire. Now the green usually represents ground, and this is the case if you don't have a white wire tucked in the back of your switch box. If you do, you'll want to pull off that green sleeve and this becomes a white wire. Now, if you don't have a white neutral wire, you'll want to treat this as a ground wire and tie this along with also the ground copper wire inside your box, along with the silver wire. Just tie all three of them together. Once you're ready to make the connections, you can snip off the old wiring. Another way of doing this is to use some type of electrical screwdriver to insert into one of the holes inside the back of the light switch to pop that out. But I find it much easier to just clip it off and then strip it here. Now you want to wear a good pair of wire strippers. Most electrical in modern homes is at 14 gauge, so you'll want to align that to the 14 gauge and take off about a centimeter of wiring. Making the attachments to each of these wires, you'll want to be sure that you have a very good connection to prevent any loose wiring and potential fires. Here, you'll want to do a little bit of pre-twisting and then keep on twisting until the wires themselves twist together. So you want to give it a little tug to ensure that it does not pop out the moment you give it that tug. After connecting all the wiring, push all the wires securely into the electrical box and screw on the light receptacle. Next, you'll want to turn on the electricity back on from the circuit breaker. and we'll get to the programming phase. This main light switch will control the timeout period. And so the way that the programming works is that you need to press and hold the button. And as you're holding the button, it will light up. And so when we look at the main switch, this controls the timeout, which means the moment you walk out and it does not sense any more motion or occupancy, the light will automatically turn off. I set mine for 1 minute, which represents two flashes. And so you'll hold down that button for 2 flashes to represent a 1 minute timeout period. The next programming that you'll want to do is the sensor mode. It's by default auto on and auto off occupancy mode. This is not ideal for me because I prefer auto on daylight sensing and auto off. So depending on your preferences, one or the other might make sense, or maybe it's the manual on and auto on for you. So essentially manual on, auto off is that you have to turn on the light yourself, but then it will turn off automatically for you. So for this, it's the little switch on the right of the main switch. You want to hold down on it. I'll hold down mine for 3 flashes to represent auto on, daylight sensing, and auto off. And then the next one is advanced settings, and this requires holding down both buttons at once. I typically don't mess around with this because I keep my motion sensitivity on high. Finally, once you're done programming, put the faceplate back on and screw it, and you're good to go.
If you're interested in more of a all-in-one dimmer and light switch, check out next week's video, which actually may be linked right here. I'll be trying to release a new video every 1 to 2 weeks, so hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you'll be notified next time. Thanks again for watching.